June 6th, there it is right there. Juno beat D-Day, and we are really honored. General Mark Milley, he was with Trump this afternoon. He was doing the golden thing.
Gold Star.
All right, let's tell us about it.
Gold Star families with the president this afternoon and this evening, and Mrs. Trump as well, and the First Lady. It was quite an evening, and we honored those families that had loved ones killed in action.
Well, I understand you come from Newfoundland. You're not you, but you're in the
my
past.
Grandparents.
Your grandparents.
My grandparents. My father's mother and father were both born in St. John's. Then they came down to Boston, and that's where we settled.
And I know we talked about your dad. Your dad was with Iwo Jima. Took his skates over there. Right? That was a funny one.
He did. In fact, he was in the 4th Marine Division in World War II and made the assault landings at Kwajalein, Saipan, Tinian, and Iwo Jima. And didn't know much about the South Pacific, just a young kid out of Somerville, Massachusetts. And he took his hockey skates thinking there was going to be some ice in the South Pacific.
And he was a great fan of the Bruins like you are.
They love the Bruins, absolutely. Got to love the Bruins.
And you watched back in
Of course I watched you guys back in the day, Don. How could I not? That's the only reason I'm doing an interview with you.
Oh, sounds like Gary Bettman, yeah.
You know, General Milley, you're a 4-star general. You're the Chief of Staff, 39th Chief of Staff of the Army here in the United States of America. That's a big deal. We want to show a few photos of you. You have a great affiliation with the Washington Capitals. We'll see a shot of you and TJ Oshie here. We'll also see a shot of you as a hockey player. As you said, you look like a midget there.
I look pretty small there.
But you don't look like a midget here with us. And we'll see you as a Princeton Tiger. Obviously, you played 4 years there. You were a captain of the NCAA team. That must have been a great thrill for you to parlay your hockey knowledge into your soldiering. So tell me about that.
Well, it was, hockey's always been a part of my life. And growing up, and my brother and I both played. My dad played before us, and then went off to college. Those kids you see in the photo there, most of those kids came from Canada. My roommates were from Canada. Joey Farrow was from Thunder Bay, and Cliffy Larrick, he was from Rockland, Saskatchewan, and a lot of the other kids. And they all came to, when I became the Chief of Staff of the Army, they all come down from Canada. And they came to Fort Myer for the ceremony that we did for.
Well, Ed Sitkowski tells us over in Afghanistan that when they're, they were in the south, and he said, anytime we need anything,
absolutely,
we just phoned you. You helped the Canadians.
Well, the Canadians were on our flank the entire time in Afghanistan, down in Kandahar, and they fought in some really tough areas, fought some tough fights. Eddie Staniowski is with him. He's a great friend of mine, former goalie for the Blues, and then later retired as Lieutenant Colonel of Canadian Armed Forces. Paul Winnick is a great Canadian officer. He's currently the commanding general of the Canadian Armed Forces, Canadian Army. And we just had some great relationships over the years with our Canadian brothers.
Well, we were June 6th, as you know, we were right beside you guys, and the British and the Canadians. That was really something. D-Day, that's why we're wearing the hat.
Oh, yeah, well, you were at Juno. That's why you got the hat on.
Yeah.
Yep, Canadians were hitting the beach at Juno, and we were hitting it at Omaha.
Well, here we are, General.
You got the video.
Yeah, no, let's hear one at the end. I got a big letter from a guy. You'll see the guys at the end of New Brunswick.
Sure.
This here is the New Brunswick boys. They're the 3rd Regiment going in, and we didn't know who they were, but they were from New Brunswick, every one of them, and that house is still standing there, I understand.
Took a lot of guts, 74 years ago. So on the night of 5 June, the paratroopers jumped in on the morning of 6 June. They hit the beach.
I'll tell you,
Canadian and American troops, side by side.
Boy, this is an honor for me. I'll tell you, my family goes back. I had my Sergeant Thomas William Mackenzie killed in the First World War with 4 days to go. To have you on, it is really something. I know Ron is really excited about this.
I definitely am excited. And the other thing I would say, the Boston Bruins. So your dad, who was his favorite player, and you obviously followed the Big Bad Bruins. Who's yours?
Well, I think probably in everyone in Boston's probably favorite player is Bobby Orr. I grew up with Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, Johnny Busick, Jerry Cheevers, all those guys. And I was a kid playing, and then they were kind of our idols, the Big Bad Bruins, Derek Sanderson. That was quite a team. And, quite a group of guys.
That Orr was the best, don't you agree?
Bobby, Gretzky's a great player, no question about it. A lot of great players, Gordie Howe. But I got to tell you, I think Bobby Orr, man for man, skill for skill, I think he's number one.
He's the best.
We have a couple of things here. By the way, your Caps look pretty good, too. I know you love
Caps are doing great.
Yes, they
and
sure are.
It's coming in 3-0 right now, and I tell you what, this city I think is going to have a Stanley Cup champion.
Our Prime Minister today, Justin Trudeau, received the Clarkson Cup champions, the women who win the CWHL in our country. The Markham Thunder got to go up to Parliament Hill today, so there's our Prime Minister.
That's great.
Hosting the women, so they had a huge
He looks
victory.
very good.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Yep.
And Don, you should see, General, Don watching Donald Trump, your president, in Nashville the other day. It was like he was watching Beyonce. He was so thrilled watching Mr. Trump do his speech. He just loves Donald, so it's nice.
We had a great kid in Caleb on the opening. I thought he was for Vegas the way he was talking, and then he showed his sweater underneath there. And you were saying he has his good friend is
Chandler Stevenson. He is from Saskatoon as well. So Brayden McNabb from Davidson, Saskatchewan. He also knows, but he's really close. They skate together. Chandler and a guy named Braden Cameroon out in Saskatchewan train together all the time. So that's why he was kind of supporting
Playing
the
on the prairies, those big towns.
Yes. Here's the top prospects, Don, coming in to meet you today at the
We
morning
had
skate.
prospect game. We do this every year, eh? And that's all the kids coming up. They'll be all in the National Hockey League.
18, 19?
Yeah, they're 18 and 19.
Wow.
And they're all excited to come on.
Out of
Coaches
Canadian
going.
juniors?
Yeah, well, no, they're Sweden's there. The first guy was a #1 draft choice. There's a couple. There's a Hughes there.
American.
And there's another Canadian. Scored 4 points in Team Canada.
Don, there's nobody from Boston. What's going on?
Oh yeah, there is. There's a kid. Oh yeah, there's a kid
Kachuk.
from
Brady
Boston
Kachuk.
there, and he's in there. And we show the kids, and they get a big kick out of that all the year. We do that every year. And there was, I have to tell you, I was like this. I didn't know whether to do it because there wasn't enough Canadians, but there was 3 Americans in there from Boston too.
And that made you proud.
That made us proud for sure.
Let's show them, Don. Here they are.
All right, now here we are, the best players in the world. These guys will be in the National Hockey League, and we're going to have a little talk with them right now. Okay, we'll start right now. Go ahead.
My name's Noah Dobson. I play for the Active Bathurst Teton. My favorite player is Sidney Crosby.
I'm Brady Kachuk, play at Boston University. My favorite player is Wayne Simmons.
My name is Rasmus Dahlin. I played for Frölunda Hose. My favorite player is Erik Karlsson.
My name is Andreas Fischnik. I play for Barry Colts. My favorite rail is Evgeny Kuznetsov.
My name is Quinn Hughes. I play for the University of Michigan, and my favorite player is Duncan Keith.
My name is Evan Bouchard. I play for London Knights. Favorite player is Drew Doughty.
My name is Philip Zelina. I play for Halifax Moosets, and my favorite player is Patrick Kane.
All right, you see they're all sharp dressed. Remember, kids, all the time, they're dressed like this all the time. You want to be first class, you play like these guys, you dress first class, all right? Good luck, guys, for the National Hockey League.
That looked great. Don's always dressed first class.
They look like you guys.
They look good.
They look like soldiers,
And that
right?
kid Tachek, he's playing at BU, huh?
Yeah, the one kid, yeah, and he's, yeah, you're right. And I always have my heart with Boston. I know you're from Boston. I talked to a guy one time, and he said, I love Boston. I'm a Bostonian. I said, how long have you waited for Boston? He's 38 years. So
I've been
once
gone
a
a long
Bostonian,
time.
always a Bostonian.
I've been in the Army now going on almost 40 years, and then 4 years in college. So I guess, what is that, 44 years? Wow. But I go back all the time. My dad passed away 2 years ago. My mom about 20 years ago, but my brother and sister are still up there, and lots of relatives. So we get up there once a year or so. And
What an honor.
yeah, it's a
All
lot
we
of
can
fun.
say,
I tell you, it's an honor to be on with you, and I'll never forget this. And thank you for coming
Well, Don,
on.
I got to tell you, I really appreciate your continued support for the U.S. military, the Canadian military, and Ron, same. And thanks so much for your support. Right now, we've got about 180,000 soldiers, U.S. Army soldiers, around the world in about 140 countries defending freedom's frontier. And we're doing it in a selfless way, and we're doing it for people like you and all the American people and Canadian people and all free peoples around the world. So thanks for your continued support.
Thank you, General.
Our greatest respect and thanks to the Chief of Staff of the American Army on Coach's Corner in the capital of the U.S. of A.